to us about your background knowledge and what standards we'll be linking our learning with today? All right, beautiful, Cindy, but I know you read it well, but we need a little more volume. Could you double your volume for us?
I can use CSRs to describe the effects of research on the
Fabulous. Thank you, Cindy. And were you able to connect that learning to a science standard? Oh, talk to us about that. Talk us through that. Just helping her out with that. Yep, Caleb, I agree. We're learning about rocks and landforms and how they're created.
I was looking for geosphere, but I didn't do that, so I just went to the other one.
Okay. And any background knowledge anybody has on something called rock abrasion or?
Just as a summary of a section that's 10 words or less.
Oh, great. Connecting us back to our CSR. I agree. Thank you. You have a connection for us?
Yeah, I just kind of did what Alex did. I mean, this is a sentence that describes the passage of that.
Okay, fabulous. All right, scholars. So here's our first step. If you have already picked up on this, we're asking you to go ahead and put today's topic on your learning log. If you haven't already, let's take a minute to get your heading and the topic included on your learning log for today. Thank you, Andy. And our topic is rock abrasion. If you would also fill in the page numbers, that'll help us when we're ready to open the text. And I'll know we're ready for our next step when I have your eyes glued to me. So I'm looking for, thank you, Melina, thank you, Bella. Maximus is ready. Lisa's almost ready. Damien's ready. Jack's ready. Dominic's ready. Thomas is ready. Cindy, are you ready? Thank you. All right, Lisa's ready. So our next step, we should be looking at our learning logs. The very next step is our brainstorm. We'll give you a minute. Using that title in a complete sentence, we'd like you to record your background knowledge on today's topic. So maybe you have a little bit of background knowledge. Maybe you can use some CSR strategies to pick apart what rock abrasion is. At this time, we're starting a minute of independent reflection. Record your background knowledge on rock abrasion. Brainstorm. Record your background knowledge.
What if you don't have what if you don't have any?
Uh-oh. So if you're stumbling with the vocabulary, maybe make an inference, maybe make a prediction. What do you think it might be about? Maybe a brainstorm could even be a question. If you're not sure what it is, you could ask a question. And our next step. With your face partner, share your brainstorm. So read yours, listen to your partners. You can discuss any questions you might have.
It sounds like we're studying rocks. That's all I know.
Rock abrasion is a type of study. I think that it would be I should have ordered
in wandering the class, I noticed, thank you for staying focused with your base partner, but I noticed a lot of questions, I noticed a lot of blank papers, I noticed a lot of wondering still. How many of you feel confident you were able to infer or you have an understanding of what rock abrasion is? Just with a hand. If you're feeling like you understand or you might know what it is. Great. So this means that we're going to be using the text heavily today to make understanding of this. Our next step, I do have some key vocabulary for you. Data brainstorm. So this will help us. I anticipate this would be a term that would be a challenge for us today. So the key vocabulary is abrasion. That means a process of breaking and wearing away. So we have been studying weathering a lot. And sorry. That's a good idea. That's a good question. We need to, and we haven't really quite talked yet about erosion versus weathering. But we're going to be getting ourselves there. Last week was physical, chemical, biological weathering. So what category would abrasion fit into? Physical. I have one vote for physical. Maybe we'll come back to that question after we do our CSR activity. Another visual for you. So these are rocks that have gone through the process of abrasion. You notice they're nice and smooth and rounded. Nice clean edges. They're not sharp and jagged. They've already gone through the process of rock abrasion. Another connection I have for you deals with the medical world. If you fall down, like this happens to me, well, it used to happen to me a lot when I was learning how to skateboard. Now I don't ever fall. But when I would fall and skid on the pavement, medical terminology, if you go to the hospital and have that treated, or if you do encounter one of these, this could happen with soccer, with baseball, any kind of sport. Oh no. That's sharp, really small. When you scrape off your skin, the medical terminology for that is an abrasion because you've hit something rough and it's worn away part of your skin. So if you were to go look this up in a medical dictionary or a doctor were to diagnose you, they would say that you have an abrasion. So that's a connection from the medical world. That's not my hand. Like I said, I don't fall anymore, right? I'm an expert. Not quite. All right, so we have our key vocabulary. Next step should be prediction. So using page 32 and a little bit on page 33, let's quickly preview that text. Page 32, page 33. Fix that. What a friend. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, AJ. Page 32 and 33, look at those pictures, look at the headings, look at the questions in the margin. You need to get your book. Are we short one? I can fix it. So using the clues that are in the text, we'll take a minute more. record your prediction. Using the photos, using the questions that are in the margin, using keywords in the titles. What is it you think this section of text will teach us? If you're in need of a sentence starter, we have one here for you. Shared our brainstorms with a face partner. I would like to hear your predictions out loud, so we have a volunteer or two that would share what they predicted we're going to be covering. Could you read your prediction?
I think we might learn about restoration and how to.
Okay, thank you. Was there something that you saw? What made you make that prediction?
The picture.
Okay, thank you. Melina?
I think the raging happens underwater, or water is involved because there is simply rushing water with rocks.
Okay, so you use that picture again to make that connection? Kate, sorry. Harley.
I think we'll learn about rock abrasion and what causes it because the title is rock abrasion.
Okay, so using those titles, thank you. Alicia?
I predict that we might learn about how rocks get abrasion like when you hit the same power. And also I think we're going to learn about how the rocks get smoothed out.
Okay. And thank you, Alicia.
The title.
Thank you. Using the title. And Jack, its final thoughts?
I think we'll learn about what can cause abrasion, like water from the picture, and what might happen after abrasion, something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Jack. And thank you all for sharing and volunteering your ideas. Final words from me, if I could have you focus with me in 3, 2, 1. And so, looking at your learning logs from last week, I really need to give you guys props. Your conversations were very focused. Your work was well done. I looked at your learning logs, they were complete. So for this first time grading, I gave you a completion grade. If all the work was there, you earned a 4. If there was maybe 1 or 2 things missing, it was a 3. So thank you for that. I want to congratulate you for the great work that I saw written and the great work that I heard when I was visiting tables. One area that we want to focus our attention on today, looking at some of the examples, looking at some of your work, I noticed we're still struggling with those level 2 questions or the think and search questions. So I've made that our focus as we go through CSR today. Our strategy focus is going to be writing those level 2 or the think and search questions. It is really difficult. Use your question expert to help guide you through that process if you ever get stuck. Question? Excellent question. Melina? Let's see. Today, Wednesday, 3rd period, 32. I'm thinking we'll get a chance to give you an update before we leave today, but we need to focus on our CSR. We need to do a good job with that. If we have time, then we'll get to that tomorrow. If not, they'll be waiting for us on Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Correct. So we talked about our focus. Roles today. Our 1s, it's the same roles as last week. Our 1s are going to be our group leaders. Our 2s will be our gist experts. Our 3s are our clunk experts. And our 4s are our question experts today. 1, 2,